rent bidding wars. Prospective tenants making offers in excess of the advertised rent. Landlord or letting agent encouraging or inviting prospective tenants to increase their offer, to increase the chance that they might get granted the tenancy they're applying for. Those days are soon to be gone, and that's because the Renters' Rights Act 2025 is going to ban what it's calling rent bidding. Now, this provision of the Act is expected to come into force on the 1st of May 2026. And it does a few things. The first thing that it does is it prohibits a let property being advertised that does not specify a fixed amount of rent. So a let property being advertised could not simply, let's say, invite offers to be made. It couldn't state the rent payable could be a range of rent of £1,000 to £1,200. The rent being advertised must be a fixed amount of rent. The second thing the Act does to prevent rent bidding is it prohibits a landlord or a letting agent accepting rents above the advertised amount. It also prohibits the landlord or agent from encouraging or inviting prospective tenants to increase their offer, even though if they did increase an offer above the advertised amount of rent, the landlord or letting agent is not allowed to accept it anyway. But in addition to not being allowed to accept a higher offer, landlords and letting agents are not allowed to encourage or invite prospective tenants to do so. Now, breaching any of these rules, whether it's encouraging a prospective tenant to increase their offer, even if the increased offer is not actually accepted, just the mere fact of encouraging or inviting them to do so would be a breach. And breaching any of these rules does come with a sanction, and that is a financial penalty of up to £7,000. And that penalty could be payable by the landlord or the letting agent, or in the case of joint liability, it could be the landlord and the letting agent. So it's very important to note that these rules or the penalty for non-compliance, they do apply to both landlord and letting agent, and the penalty would be imposed on the person that committed the breach, and it can be more than one person or entity that commits the breach, so therefore there can be joint liability. Now, these rules will only apply to the private rented sector assured tenancy, which is replacing the assured short hold tenancy. So these rules are not going to apply to the assured tenancies in the social housing sector. Those will have their own separate set of rules. These rules under the Renters' Rights Act that prohibit rent bidding do not apply to social housing.